The road teams win each game in this season series.
And the Lakers win a thriller.
As Golden State falls to under 500 once again.
I genuinely don't understand this team. At the start of the season, we were looking at a group of guys that Steph Curry actually appeared to be happy with. The vibes of past Golden State teams looked as if it's been revived. And before you even realized it, the Warriors had plummeted all the way down towards the bottom of the West, through what is now viewed as a historically bad shifting of fates. Seriously, the NBA has never seen something this bad. Starting off a season 12-3 and then proceeding to drop below 500 is an unprecedented achievement that the Warriors are now proud owners of. So clearly this roster has some serious problems and needs to see some new faces. So what do? They go out and get Dennis Schroeder, who at the time was having a career year. And considering the Warriors basically just traded an injured player and a little extra for him, it was actually looking like the Warriors got away with robbery. A near 20-point-per-game scorer was now in a position to aid Steph Curry. However, things really haven't panned out that way. At least not yet. Dennis has been struggling to score and really hasn't proven to be a consistent threat. Oftentimes he's coming off on-ball screens and simply not looking to score, even when he's wide open. Take this play for example. Schroeder is coming off a screen from Trace. This is the deciding moment for Dennis, whether to pass or shoot. And at this moment, Alex Sarr is retreating and playing the lob, not Schroeder. And instead of shooting the ball, Dennis passes it, which leads to nothing. Again, this time Schroeder has DiVincenzo on his back. At this point, the easiest play to make is just shoot the open midi, as Naz Reid hasn't even fully rotated over yet. But instead of getting a shot up, Dennis instead drops it off for Julius Randle. So what the Warriors actually got is a player that's clearly not actively looking to score anymore and nearly incapable of playing the same way he did in Brooklyn. I mean, all of his numbers are down. And I get there's an adjusting period, but it's been a decent amount of time already and there really hasn't been much improvement. And it's an improvement that the Warriors desperately need. With no true number 2 option that can alleviate the pressure on Steph offensively, Golden State is going to continue being stuck in the same place. Sure, they have guys like an Andrew Wiggins or like a Jonathan Kuminga who can pick up the scoring load. The problem is inconsistency. Kuminga is still in his developing years, and Wiggins can sometimes look like he's not even out there, although he has been picking up the scoring as of late. But if you look at many other teams, there's a first option with a clear second option that's capable of being the first when needed. LeBron and AD, Kyrie and Luka, or even KD and Devin Booker. Each of these 1s and 2s can easily be interchangeable on any given night, but that's just not the case for Golden State. And it doesn't end there because the rest of the team has their own problems as well. Obviously, shooting is a staple for the Warriors and has been for years now, but we currently are witnessing an unexplainable level of dry spells. There are moments in nearly every game where the entire team transforms into Ben Simmons and cannot throw a fish into the ocean.
Yes, sir. Easy.
Remember that graphic in the 2018 season where Golden State's scoring drought was a whopping 8 seconds? Well, now that 8-second scoring drought has become an 8-minute scoring drought. There have literally been occasions where the Warriors cannot score for nearly 2/3 of an entire quarter's worth of game time. And obviously the assumption would be that the opposing teams are just playing lockdown defense. But in reality, more than half the time, the Warriors are getting open shot attempts and simply can't make them. And what happens when you have a team that can't put points on the board? You get an even worse problem, and it's called losing. The Warriors are currently 1-20 when trailing after 3 quarters, and Steph Curry himself can't even believe it.
You guys are 1-20 when trailing after 3 quarters?
What?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Those dry spells have made winning essentially impossible. The other team runs away with the game while the Warriors sit around and let it get out of control. And with not enough offensive firepower, they can't dig themselves out of the hole they always put themselves in. Before, with the great teams Golden State had, being down after 3 quarters wasn't even really a concern. The only concern was for the team that was leading, because all they were worried about is not giving up that lead. Because let's be honest, nobody was shutting down a prime Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson. But of course, there's the other side of the spectrum as well. There are games where everyone is making shots and the Warriors are actually the ones running away with the game, until they blow the lead like always. You can never expect a win from Golden State when they're up early in the game because, well, they're just gonna blow it anyways. The lack of a strong second option, unfathomably long dry spells, and no lead security have become the 3 pillars of the Warriors' struggles, with the 4th being Steve Kerr himself. Buddy Hield started the season off hot and was a big part of those early wins, but ever since then, we've seen nothing but a brick machine.
Hield. He launches, doesn't go.
And somehow, Buddy Hield has recently been moved to the starting lineup despite playing horrendous basketball. And sitting on the bench, ready to go, is Moses Moody, who has been outplaying Buddy in nearly every single game. Instead of rewarding Moody for playing great, he makes no adjustment, and instead rewards the guy who has been playing terrible. It simply makes no sense, and I will never understand Steve Kerr's thought process. Ever since that championship run in 2022, nothing has been going according to plan. It's just been constantly getting worse. 2023, they get booted in the second round, and in 2024, they don't even make the playoffs. And if everything stays the same, we are most likely looking at another season of no playoffs. But as bad as the Warriors are, there's always Steph Curry.